Hi, it's Jess with Jess Makes Sense, and today I'm doing a little something different. I am cooking in the kitchen. I just got a new tripod thing that bends, and so you can see the pot, and so I thought it'd be a good idea to do this. I've only perfected like 5 recipes, and this is one of them. It's soup tortellini, tortellini stew, tortellini soup, whatever y'all want to call it, that's what it is. I will put the recipe below. Right now, I'm just taking the sausage and I'm grounding it. The little chopper thing that I have is Betty Crocker, and it's from the dollar store, and it is amazing. I don't know why I spent so much time not buying this, but you should definitely buy it. With this, you are supposed to put in 1 onion minced, which I skipped because my husband hates onions. And then I'm showing you right now, this is the garlic cloves minced. I always buy it in a little bottle like this because I find it so much easier to do. But you put that in there with the sausage and you ground up until it's cooked and the onion is translucent. I think that's Spice World. That's what it was called. Just chop, chop, chop with a little grinder thing. And then next, I'm going to open up a can of crushed tomatoes, and that is a 14-ounce can, and I will go ahead and throw that in there. The recipe I love because it's a one-pot recipe, and the fact that I don't have to clean a bunch of dishes is like the ultimate recipe for me. One pot is what I like. So I go ahead and put that in there. I'm being careful not to splash my shirt. I love this sweatshirt, and yes, I did get tomato sauce on it. So there you go. You can only do so much. You're going to mix that around, and while you're doing that, you're also going to add 2 tablespoons of the tomato paste, and that'll be coming up in just a second. I'm just making sure that's mixed around. Here goes the tomato paste. It's 2 tablespoons. I get this squeeze bottle, and I usually find it on the top shelves at the grocery store. I shop at Publix, but it's where all the sauces are. I like it so much better than the canned because you can use it over and over again, and you know you only need a little bit of tomato paste in most recipes. So I find this squeeze tube to be ideal, and I haven't bought the cans of tomato paste since because it's just such a good idea. So good. Don't know what I'm doing. Mix that really good. The tomato paste might take a second. Also, I have this on like medium, I think. Medium heat. I had this whole time that I was doing this. I originally started with high heat and then brought it down to medium. This is chicken broth. You're going to put an entire quart of chicken broth into the mixture. Chicken broth, chicken stock. I say chicken broth, but it's chicken stock. And then you are going to mix this up until it's fully incorporated. I think that I had it turned down, so I'm just now turning it up. Because after you're done whisking all of that together, you're going to bring it to a boil. And there's me bringing it to a boil. Season with salt and then simmer it for 15 minutes. I put a little salt in there. That's my husband, by the way, and I told him I wasn't going to remove it from the video, and I did not. So that it is what it is. After 15 minutes, I just took the lid off. This is him doing it again, and I'm going to keep it in the video. Then I'm going to add the tortellini. Be careful in this part because it splatters so much. If you all know or have a tip of a way to put this in that won't make the tomato mixture go everywhere, please let me know. You're going to see down below the recipe calls for 1 10-ounce package of tortellini. I put in 2, and so mine comes out more of a stew than a soup, and that's how I like it. My brother-in-law, my sister, my husband, all my brother-in-laws, they like it better, more like a stew than a soup. So I put in 2 10-ounce bags of tortellini, even though it calls for 1. And I'll put that below. And then 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I just added a little basil because I skipped the onion. I love the onion in it, so I recommend it. but my husband does not like onions, so I skipped it for this recipe. And then it does call for kale, and I loved it with kale, but when I made it with kale, my husband said, switch back to spinach. I like the spinach way better. So that's what I did. And I put a lot of spinach in there because it's hard to get him to eat some greens. And so I put most of the bag in there. And I know it only says in the recipe to put one bunch of kale stems removed. I put a lot of spinach in there, which it goes down to like, it simmers down to almost nothing. So the more you can put in there, to me, the better. And I'm just mixing it. You're going to do this for 3 to 5 minutes until the spinach is wilted and the pasta is tender. Basically, when you see the tortellini kind of puff up, and you'll know what I mean, like it puffs up to its like fullest state, you'll see it. Then I put the lid on, turned it off, mixed it around, and bone apple teeth. This is my tortellini stew my way, a little different than the recipe.